Hey, what's up, guys? It's Breon over here with the ABCD Virtual Assistant. I want to talk to you about calendar management and hopefully share a really cool tip that you are not aware of already. This is about calendar management and managing multiple calendars or multiple points of calendar management. So, if you're like me, you can have 6 different calendars just on Gmail alone or Google Calendar and then still be managing a physical calendar as well or planner. The upside is we're ridiculously organized people. We know what's going on with our time. The downside to it is it creates a lot of chaos when we're trying to research and remind ourselves, where did we write that detail at? Which calendar was it a part of? Where did it go? How do we find it? And it creates a lot of down time or misuse of our time. So, with that being said, I just wanted to show you a quick video about how to create a master calendar with all of this and how important it really is because it's going to save you a lot of time here. So, the best thing that I can start with is we're going to use a program here called Zapier, which is an AI software or system that is essentially an if this, then that software. What that's designed to do is if this happens, then I want that result. Okay? It has a series of triggers and it produces a series of results for us. In this case, if I have an event in one calendar, then create another event in a master calendar, a catch-all calendar for me. So that way there's one spot I have to check all of my information instead of multiple spots where I have to check all of my information here. The best way I can show that right now is if we look right here at the top, I have 2 different calendars. Our first calendar here is going to be my virtual assistant calendar. I have everything on selected right now, but if we look over here in the corner, it's my virtual assistant calendar. And then we hop over here into this calendar. And this is my just a personal calendar that I threw together. But you can see it's a whole different calendar that I have selected right here. So the only thing that's the same so far between these calendars is that it's my mom's birthday today, which it is. But let's say that I am over here and I'm doing work in my virtual assistant calendar and something pops up on here. I need to know because I don't check my virtual assistant one as often as I do check my personal calendar. So how do I know what's coming up in here? How do I know and keep track of it all? If I send a client a link and they schedule a meeting with me, how do I get that information from this calendar to my personal calendar without me having to physically go in there and retype it out? Well, that's where the Zapier comes into play. So as we can see, I have a 2-step system here. Create a new event in Google Calendar. Once that's done, it will create a new event in a second Google Calendar for us. So if we're on step 1 right now, I'm already on LinkedIn, but if I wasn't already linked in, it would actually let me change which calendar, which event is going to get this thing going. And the event itself gives us a few different options here. So if I click this down, the arrows here, any one of these items right here in Google Calendar will be considered the event that happens. So in this instance, I'm going to leave it as new event. And all it's going to do is anytime a new event is in our first calendar, our virtual assistant calendar, it will then move on and ask us which calendar we want to refer to. So like I said, our ABCD virtual assistant calendar will allow us to go ahead and create a trigger. Now, this is the most important part here. So the trigger, we're going to open this up, and it's going to ask us which calendar, because it has the basic ones that get set up there, your holidays, your birthdays, and then your main calendar. So in this instance, I want my ABCD virtual assistant calendar as my trigger. And so while this loads for me, what it's going to do is it's going to say, once it's all set up for the first section, not a whole lot to do there, but on the first section, it's going to get it all set up, and it's going to say, it's going to ask me to test it, make sure that everything's all linked on there correctly, the way that we're hoping it is. So if we look right now, it found mom's birthday on there, no big deal, but it's on there. Okay. So now that we're good, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit continue with the selected record. Now we're going to go on to step 2 here. So this is where, again, it's going to ask you the next Google Calendar that you want to do with this. Create a detailed event. We're going to leave that alone because we want it to create the same event from one calendar to this calendar now. So we're going to leave that alone. Hit continue. And now, as you can see, the calendar part of it has changed from ABCD Virtual Assistant to Breon Bradley 91. Now, as long as that all lines up, we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And now in here, this is where things get a little dicey. They can get a little complicated in here, but don't worry, it's not actually as complicated as it sounds. So when you hop in here, if you want it to carry over the exact same way from one calendar to the other, you just have to line up a few details so that way it understands, the system understands what you're trying to tell it to do. So in summary, I want it to say the exact same way that it starts in the calendar. So I want it to say mom's birthday for me when I test this out. And so you can go in here and you can see you have all of these different options in here. You can put a description, event ends, event begins, pretty much any single thing that could line up inside of create, like when you create actual Google event, can fall in here. But in this instance, I want to keep it the exact same way it was. So I want to keep the summary, aka the title of the event, the same for me. I want the description. What did I write about it? I wrote that this is a test. So I want to keep the description the same. If there was any like meeting notes or minutes that we may want in there that we put in the description, this is where we would want to like have that listed. And then if it's going to have any specific location, location to location, that's where a lot of this is. We're just going to line a lot of this up with where it's at already. If it doesn't automatically pop up in here and fill itself out, you're just going to click and you're going to find this says location. So let's go in here and just scroll down until we find location. And we're good to go. It's got a location in there now. So once we're done and we've gone through all of these and we just make sure that there's something that's in each and every one of these lines, we're good to go. Some of these things may not be relevant, like frequency. It's my mom's birthday once a year. There's no reason to have it multiple times. Repeat it, no reason to repeat that. Repeat how many times? Again, not necessary. All day, I could have put it as all day. I didn't. Color, not exactly something I was crazy about. Not really necessary. Attendees, visibility, a lot of this stuff isn't going to be necessary. But if you start to notice it's necessary for your calendar, you are absolutely able to line it up. Use default reminders. Yeah, if there's a reminder on the first calendar, go ahead and put the reminder on the second calendar. That works for me. But if it's not, then don't worry about it. So now that I've gone through and I've lined everything up, everything looks the same, and it should carry over for me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit continue. And now you see it takes all of those questions that we just answered and it spits out a formula that looks kind of like this. It looks a little wonky, but as you go through it, you'll just notice this is pretty much saying, hey, we pulled all of this data from the previous event in the first calendar on Virtual Assistant, and we're going to put it on your second calendar, Breon Bradley 91. So we're going to look at that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit retest, and I just want it to make sure that it works first. And now that we've retested it, if I hop back up here, it should appear on here a second time now. Oh, and there it is. This one right here on the left was the first one. This one right here on the right is my second one. So now that I'm good, I know that it works. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit on. Since I've already published this once, I don't need to hit publish here again. I need to just turn it on and we'll be good to go. So now that it's on, it's published, and we're good to go, what I can do to show you how simple it is, let's say tomorrow we have a major event coming up. Let's just call it, let's stick with the theme of birthdays. So let's just call it Dad's birthday. And We're going to say, yep, we'll give him a video call tomorrow. And what the heck, we'll call him from McDonald's. And I want my note here to say, don't forget to wish Dad a happy birthday. Make it super simple. Let's even throw a color on here, have some fun with it. We'll make him green. All right? And then I'll just add myself as a guest so that way I can show you how it sends invites and everything too. So now that this is all done, we'll click save, go ahead and send the email. And so we see here it populates Dad's birthday tomorrow at 8 p.m. So if everything worked correctly, when I click over here, it populates Dad's birthday at 8 p.m. McDonald's right here. Then I can go ahead and click on it, and it gives us all the details. So the Google Meet link is already in there, shows us who's going, who's attending. All of the details that I put in my first calendar is now in my second calendar, thus making it easier to have a master calendar. So that way I'm not having to click through all of my calendars or read through my planner and remind myself, where did I write this down? Which calendar did I save it underneath of? It's going to simplify all the workload for you and put it in all one cohesive spot. So that's the reason for this. I hope you guys like it. Let me know, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.